just take it slow. There's no need to rush things, no. Let's figure out a way. You know it's you and me. Don't care what I say. So please don't go away, don't leave. Without you, boy, I cannot breathe. Let's figure out a way. You know it's you and me. Don't care what I say. It brings me down to fall apart. Thinking about the day you leave, it breaks my heart. Don't leave me hanging, baby. Don't leave me hanging, baby. I will never win this game. I am lost, boy, I'm in vain. I will never be the same. 'Cause I am lost, boy, I'm in vain. You are so, don't care what I say.
Hello, everybody. I am making a very important video. This is to all the mothers and fathers out here that is dealing with a family member, whether it's a child, grandchild, cousin, aunt, or uncle, someone that is being depressed. Now, I'm speaking on one particular loved one that is dealing with depression. And it's sad to see a loved one that is going through such a feeling of helplessness. Now, whether that feeling comes from life experiences or by their own doing, is still sad. What can you do? You listen to them, you give them the best advice that you can, you tell them everything's going to be all right, you try to let them see the good, and you tell them how good they have it and how wonderful it is, and how you're doing way better than a lot of other people, and it doesn't seem to matter. But what do you do when you're dealing with somebody who's depressed because of their own doing, or they just will not see how good they have it? Now, I'm dealing with a daughter that, oh boy, a lot of us would love to exchange life, you know, with. Um, I would love to be in your shoes right now. You're young, you're beautiful, healthy, you have a good job, you're living in an apartment that may not be the best, but at least you are living in an apartment. You're not out on the street. You're driving a brand new car, okay, with no car payment. You have family that cares and loves you deeply. Why are you depressed? It's these young ones. You can't understand them. You can't have it your way all the time. And you're working towards these goals, but you feel like it's just not moving fast enough. She says she's mad because she has to live in an apartment. Well, you chose to live in that apartment because you wanted to be somewhere cheaper so you could save more money to get into a house. But you're mad because you're in an apartment. How do you deal with somebody like that? How do you get someone to understand that patience is a virtue? You got a good paying job, but you're mad because a job that you chose to go work at, you don't want to be there. And then you're mad because you chose a career, but it's not moving fast enough. You're not getting all the clients you want. Oh, I'm telling you, what we need to do to stop being so depressed. Because listening to her is making me depressed. And I feel like I just don't even want to be around her. And she really doesn't want to be around people either because she is so depressing. Because everything that comes out her mouth is a sign of depression. And when you're around somebody who's just sad and mad and unhappy, that tends to rub off on you. How can you be happy listening to all this sadness? Especially when it's someone that you cares about. And it's nothing that you can say or do that's going to help them get out of that depression. And it's scary because you have seen people like that literally take their life. And you feel that that could happen to your loved one. And suicide is a big issue especially among young black people, whether it's voluntary or involuntary. Because suicide comes in many forms. It comes quickly and it comes over a period of time. Like they used to call it in alcoholic AA, suicide on installment plan. You're drinking more and more and more, killing yourself slowly. And it's the same way with lifestyle. It's like committing suicide. You're out there doing stuff that can cause you to get shot, killed. So it's slow process. And then you have some that just wake up and just want to end it all because they can't stand the fact that they can't get out of this depression mode that they in. And and a lot of our young ones don't realize how good they got it. I'm telling you, I mean, suicide been around for forever, and people kill themselves for different reasons. But it always boils down to I just can't live the life that I want. which is half of the world's situation. And then you have some that you think God is good that commit suicide. How do you commit suicide and you living in a $1 million house, driving a $50,000 car, and two closets full of food? I mean, clothes, and yeah, two kitchens, vacations, and you still have people like that that are depressed and may consider or commit suicide. Um, I don't know what to say. We need to help our young ones to really not just hang in there, not just continue to live, but live a life full of compassion, servitude, leadership, everything that gives life meaning. Because sometimes we go through life thinking that we don't have anything to contribute, which is definitely not true. There's so many people out there that needs our help, that could use our help, especially other young ones. Um, if they would only see that their life has meaning. Now, this is something that I wrote about depression because we all go through depression because uh, our body and mind is has to connect, and the body goes through all sorts of changes that takes a lot of patience and a lot of knowledge, and also surrounding by um, the best that we can be. Because when you're going through childhood to adolescence to the teenage years and to adulthood, those are fractions of our life that is very fundamental to our well-being. And when things happen in those different stages can cause us to go into a deep, relentless depression. And see, sometimes you can go in there and stay in there. You know, because sometimes we go through stuff and we don't know what's going on. Why am I having these feelings? Why am I having these thoughts? Or, you know, and just look at it. Can you see what your body is going through? You was this little teeny tiny baby. Now you're this big. Now you're this big. And now you're this big. And your body is growing and your mind is expanding. And you have to have a balance that a lot of us don't have. An imbalance leads to some form of depression. And outside forces can make it worse or it can make it better. That's why we have a lot of depression, because what would make a person go out and do the things that they do to cause them to be in a worse state of mind or state of situation. Why would a young person want to go out there and do something that can cause them to go to jail for the rest of their life? But what I read, what I wrote about depression, this is something that's in a book that I'm reading. No, a book that I'm writing. I read and write so much, I get them intertwined. Um, we have to live for the future, okay? To live for the future is to be always in a state of excitement for what is to come. Today is lovely because I am today, a present for the world. See, we have to live our life as we are something exciting, something special, something the world wants and needs. How can you be depressed with that? I am giving and receiving love from everyone, near and far. I will be committed to the sacrifice my ancestors left me to carry on, ensuring a peaceful transfer of power. And we don't look at it like that. Only time we hear that is on the news or, during presidential time. But we always go through a transfer of power because as you get older, you're not as powerful as you was. And you have to ensure that the ones that's coming behind you is receiving that power and knowing the sacrifices that they are inheriting. Because that's what it is. And we need to talk to our kids in words that go down deep, deep enough to change their ways, change their life story, and give it meaning. It's something that what you're doing now is going to carry on years and years and years from now. Do you want it to stop in a jail cell? Do you want that to be the last thing you do? Is that what you want to extend to your children? No. I will live a selfish life, being preached to the world. Tomorrow I will give what I can to others in need. Tomorrow I will write a letter to a loved one or a person in leadership role to express my feelings and concerns. And that's what we don't do enough of. We don't talk to our loved ones or people here that's in leadership roles that are, especially ones that are putting in policies that can affect us, our children, and their children. We don't express to them. We don't feel like we have a voice. And we do. Love is the power. Loves bring hope and let us endure the pain that hangs over us like the air we breathe. Love is a well-oiled machine with moving parts working together. Love has never been implemented in diplomacy or policy. Loving yourself is not automatic, for outside forces acquire it in a galaxy bounded by natural affection, devotion, and mature behavior. Depression should never be a part of our makeup or a society with so many resources and potential. It is tough to trust without love, which should be the center of all negotiations. Now, that's what I'm saying. Why do we have depression? Even even way back when, how can you be happy when you see so much carnage and despair all around you? Seeing loved ones destroyed, or your land taken, your home burnt to the ground, or your parents killed in front of you. We don't know the extent of people's pain and anguish that they have to live with every day. That's why I'm saying, talking to, my daughter about what she's going through and knowing that it is so many people out here that's going through so much worse. And and somehow they manage to get up and go by their daily life. And sometimes I wonder how they do it, but they do. And I also know that I hope I never have to do it. But the life that we live in this world, anything can happen to anybody, anywhere, anytime. And I have about 5 seconds of that feeling. And the reason why I say that is because when my kids was taken from through children's services, I had to wake up every morning, and for 5 seconds I had that feeling that I knew that I would be able to see my kids later that day or sometime that week. But some people, they don't have that. They will never see their child again. And it's usually by the hands of people that were depressed. Now, what can we do about depression? It's a lot of things we could do, but there's also a lot of things we can't do. We need to work on where the world will be rid of depression. I think depression is worse than any disease, addiction, or anything on this planet. Because in order for you to get into a state of depression, really, really tells you what kind of world we live in. Happiness, they say, comes from within. Well, how can you be happy if the inside of you is full of pain and anguish that's just chewing away you, just just keeping you in a state of depressed? And like they always say, that um, misery loves company. And the most miserable people out here are depressed. And whether they doing something to somebody else or doing it to themselves, it's going to bring misery. Um, if you have any answers or any comments, please let me know. Please, we have to get our young ones, or anybody, but especially our young ones, out of this depressed state. Thank you for listening. And may the force of love be